Hi, COMM 101 students. This is Dave. This short video is designed to help you navigate Search at UW, the library's main search tool, which searches 95% of the nearly 200 databases that the library subscribes to. This will be a main resource for finding credible articles from magazines, but also what are called peer-reviewed articles, which will be required for the persuasive speech. But before we jump into that, I just quickly want to point out the Contact Us link on the library's homepage. If you have any questions at all about research throughout your academic careers, don't hesitate to contact us. We are here to help through an email, through a live chat. We can also set up a research consultation where you can come in at your convenience, or we can meet online via Zoom and work with you to find the best information for whatever information need you have. Okay, Search at UW, really straightforward. It sort of mirrors Google in the fact that we can put in some keywords to generate results. I will stick with the topic that I used in the earlier Finding a Policy video. So it's sort of mirroring the process that you might take in finding a policy first, and then finding secondary sources on the topic that that policy addresses. So I'm going to go ahead and run a search, and as you might suspect, there is no shortage of results on this particular topic. I didn't restrict it to law enforcement, although that's kind of what I'm interested in. We could certainly use law enforcement as a phrase to limit the amount of results, but for now, I'll stick with this gigantic list of way over 500,000. A few things to point out right away. Along the left-hand side, there is a limit to peer-reviewed. So remember, for that persuasive speech, you're going to need to have a couple of those kinds of articles. Essentially, what that means is that there is an editorial board of experts who are reviewing each article that is submitted to determine if it's important and impactful enough to be included in the journal. So regular magazine articles, newspaper articles are fine for both the informative and the persuasive, but remember, you'll need to be using a few of these kinds of sources for that persuasive speech. So we could very easily limit to peer-reviewed. A strength of Search at UW is that it's entirely full text. So all of the articles that we're looking at are going to be immediately accessible. Of course, we could interlibrary loan something if it wasn't in full text, but for the sake of efficiency, Search at UW is great from that perspective as well. I want to quickly point out another date range, another filter, which is the date range filter. Important to be always cognizant of your topic and how it may have evolved even quite dramatically in the last 15 years. Obviously, the whole idea of body cameras and law enforcement is pretty new. So you probably wouldn't want to go with something more than 10 years old. Any questions about that, just shoot your instructors an email with the citation, and they can either give you the go-ahead or suggest that you find something else. So anytime we want to access the full text of an article, there are a couple directions we can go. In some cases, we can download the PDF right here. It's as easy as just clicking this one link, getting to the PDF, and then we can start looking at that article. In some cases, you won't have immediate access to the article from this particular screen. So for example, number 6, police body cameras, seeing may be believing, from the Salus Journal. It looks like 2016, pretty current, 15-page article. You will be required to actually go into what's called the record to gain access to that full text. So let's see if we can get that to work. I'm just going to refresh my screen. And let's scroll back down to our number 6 result. So in this particular instance, what we need to do is follow the full text link below the View It text here. So this would get us to the full text of this article. You may see more than one resource listed here. That's simply Search at UW's way of saying, okay, you could access it here or in this resource. There is some duplication between databases in terms of what articles that they index. But here we get some great information, including a summary, which will give us the content of the article in a few sentences, usually about a paragraph. Even if you can access the full text right from that front screen, you may want to come to the record for a couple of reasons. One would be you may want to create a permalink that will get you back here to this particular resource. Sometimes students will gather permalinks and then return to the resources at a later time. It's important if you're going to work that way to make sure you do a permalink and not simply download or cut and paste the URL that you see up here now. That's a session ID, so you won't actually get back to this page, but you will through the permalink. You may also want to come to the record to create a citation, and Search at UW just went through an upgrade, so the citation feature has gotten much more accurate and user-friendly. So here we've got an MLA 8th edition. We've got all of the information that we need. It's even double-spaced and indented 5 spaces. We could cut and paste that into our works cited page. So coming to the library's homepage, entering some key terms, keeping in mind the peer-reviewed article limit as well as the date feature. You should find lots of things for whatever controversial topic you might select. Again, either from maybe opposing viewpoints or CQ researcher. Again, I just want to end quickly with you. If you have any questions or you find yourself struggling in the least bit, I have a 30-minute rule. If you've done research and you don't feel you've progressed, it's time to get on to something else. Put the research aside for the time being and reach out to librarians. We are definitely here to help. Thank you for your time.